My brothers and sisters, Am Yisrael, you see right now the movie with the Tzaddik Reb Shimon, that I know him for 50 years. I remember 50 years ago to see him in the morning, the first man in the synagogue. He knows the whole Torah Baal Peh. He gave his life to keep up mitzvot. And to see the Tzaddikes Shoshana, that is ready to give the kidney for somebody, Shabtai, and to give the life for Shimon. I never see a story like this. A woman, a regular woman, she has everything. She gives the whole life only to make happy people, to give life for people. And right now she's very sick. That's a very hard sickness. And she needs help. Shimon Zichrono Livracha used to go from place to place and make money and help you, help the home. She has a debt from hundreds of thousands of dollars all years because she's in a wheelchair and she can't walk right now. And she needs very, very much help. Everybody that sees this story, this is a real story, can stay by and say, I cannot do anything. You must do. The point from Am Yisrael is a chorus atoiv. If somebody is doing goods, you need to give them back. She gives the whole life for Jewish people, Shabtai and Shimon. Do something and give you back, that you can stay in life, and have medical, and have food, and have a home. And in this mitzvah that you will do, you will receive the biggest sechus, kol ha-mekayem nefesh achas me-Yisrael ke'ilu kiyem oilo bole. If you save one man, you save the whole world. And special, the tzaddikas, the schus will be for you, that you will be healthy and success and nachas and simcha. Amen.
Ever since he was born, this man's story has been a challenge met day by day with the simple power of faith, emunah. However, in addition to blindness, fate had already inflicted on this man something just as dreadful. A simple birthmark had developed into a gross deformity due to an extremely rare affliction known as the Sturge-Weber syndrome, caused by an overgrowth of the blood vessels under the skin. Unwilling to step outside for fear of being laughed at, Shimon closed himself up in a single room for 5 long years. During those same years, Shoshana Rosner and her family, including her twin sister, came to Israel from the United States. Shoshana was a gifted youngster with talents for music, the graphic arts, and the sciences. Eventually, she enrolled at Bar Ilan University, from which she would graduate with a doctorate in neurophysiology. As a student, Shoshana devoted her spare time to developing her graphic talents, as well as to making close friends. 2 of these, Tzipora and Shabtai Vishki, were to have a remarkable influence on her life and face her with a remarkable challenge of her own. Tzipora and Shabtai were a happy couple, even though both were blind. However, shortly after their marriage, Shabtai became seriously ill due to kidney failure. Shoshana's donation of a kidney to Shabtai made headlines, not only in Israel but also overseas. This was the first time in the history of Israeli medicine that a live transplant was carried out from a donor who was not a member of the patient's family. Meanwhile, Shimon had begun to emerge from his self-imposed gloom.
The world is not in vain. I mustn't give in to despair. I have to try.
Rabbi Yitzhak David Grossman, chief rabbi of his hometown, Migdal HaEmek, has this to say about Shimon Fahima. When he got close to me, when I got close to him, I could see that this man was full of bitachon, confidence. This man has gone through a great deal in his life, but he's always happy, confident that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Almighty, is on his side. He came to me and said, "Rabbi, I want to get married. Everyone gets married. I too want to make a home." Ancient tradition tells us that the faithful who pray for 40 consecutive days at the Kotel HaMa'aravi, the Western Wall, last remnant of the Holy Temple, Beit HaMikdash, will find the answers to their prayers. Shimon Fahima did just that. In the small hours of the morning, he would recite verses from Tehillim. In the depths of his belief, he was confident that understanding and mercy would come. Almost immediately after his 40-day vigil at the Kotel, the telephone rang in Shimon's lonely apartment. It was an old friend from the School for the Blind, whom he had not met for 14 years, Shabtai Vishki. That same Shabtai Vishki whose life had been saved by the donation of Shoshana's kidney. Shabtai was suggesting that he and Shimon meet for the first time after so many years. As a result of this reunion, Shimon and Shoshana were married.
External appearances mean nothing to me. The main thing is the personality and the soul. And he radiated an extreme warmth, an understanding, and openness. That's what got me.
Shoshana begins to gain a reputation for her artwork. Forced into being self-sufficient, Shimon takes on the role of being Shoshana's agent and business manager. This involves transactions, which means knocking on doors, meeting people who never saw him before, trying to sell artistic merchandise. It's not always easy. It's an ongoing daily struggle to make one's own way in this world. About a year after their marriage, Shimon and Shoshana were facing the very summit of their achievements. Shoshana was pregnant, but neither of them could avoid the fears that Shimon's ailment might be hereditary.
Suddenly, the nurse came out. "Are you Mr. Fahima? You've got a son." I was up in heaven. There are no words to describe how I felt when she handed me the baby in my arms. This child is for me the flavor of life, which sweetens all the bitterness of the past. For me, he symbolizes light, a light for the future.
Shimon and Shoshana have succeeded in meeting their challenge. They have set up house and home and established a family.
Hama